Have you ever finished a masterpiece only to realize the next episode doesn't exist? That the story just stops? You're sitting there, the credits are rolling, and you're frantically Googling Season 2 release date, only to find a forum post from 8 years ago saying it's never coming back. It's a specific kind of heartbreak. It's the feeling of being ghosted by a studio you trusted. We've all been there. We've all felt that void. Today, we are diving deep into the graveyard of greatness. We're looking at the shows that were sabotaged by studios, ruined by committees, or just plain unlucky. By the end of this video, we're going to look at the shows that were robbed of their potential, including a #1 pick that was so legendary, its cancellation actually changed how the entire industry works. Number 10, Dead Man Wonderland. We're kicking things off with a classic case of a studio shooting itself in the foot. Dead Man Wonderland was peak fiction back in 2011. It had the gore, the mystery, and a killer soundtrack. But here is the absolute tragedy. The anime completely ignored several key characters from the manga, specifically Azami Madu. Now you might think, so what? Anime cuts minor characters all the time. Not this time. Azami is fundamental to the later arcs of the story. By deleting her from the script, Studio Manglobe essentially made a second season impossible. They wrote themselves into a corner where they couldn't continue the story without a massive, confusing retcon. It wasn't just low disc sales that killed this one. It was a fundamental misunderstanding of the source material. If you watched the finale and felt like nothing was resolved, it's because it wasn't. They robbed us of the G-Block's true conclusion. My advice? Just go read the manga ending. It's the only way to get closure on Ganta's nightmare. Number 9, Stars Align, Hoshiai no Sora. If you want to talk about a literal betrayal, we have to talk about Stars Align. This wasn't just a sports anime about soft tennis. It was a brutal, honest look at family trauma and identity. The director, Kazuki Akan, had a 24-episode story ready to go. He'd planned the pacing for a 2-core run, but at the very last second, we are talking mid-production, the committee cut the episode count in half. They gave him 12 episodes to tell a 24-episode story. Akane refused to butcher his vision, so he kept the pacing the same, hoping for a sequel. The result? The show ends on a massive, terrifying cliffhanger that literally stops mid-scene. It's one of the most disrespectful moves I've ever seen a production committee make. This show was a gem that deserved a full run, but instead, it's a fragment of what could have been. I know, I'm still mad about it too. But if you think the reason for these cancellations was bad, wait until you hear about the legal drama surrounding our #1 pick. Number 8, Batum. Batum is the poster child for the Western popularity paradox. If you were on the internet in 2012, everyone was talking about this show. It was a high-stakes battle royale with bombs. What's not to love? In the West, it was a massive hit. But here is the cold, hard reality of the anime industry. Back then, international streaming didn't carry the weight it does now. Success was measured by Blu-ray sales in Japan, and in Japan, Batum flopped hard. It didn't matter that thousands of fans in the US and Europe were screaming for more. The Japanese audience just didn't buy the physical discs. Madhouse moved on to other projects, and the story of Ryuta and Himiko was left hanging. The manga has since finished, and trust me, it gets wild. There are even 2 different endings in the manga. We missed out on some of the most intense survival horror in the medium just because of a few thousand unsold plastic discs. Number 7, Gangsta. This one actually hurts to talk about. Gangsta was a vibe. It was gritty, had a unique art style, and it featured a deaf protagonist, which was incredible representation. It was building so much momentum. And then, the literal unthinkable happened. Studio Manglobe filed for bankruptcy while the show was still airing. They didn't just stop making Gangsta. The entire company ceased to exist. They were millions of dollars in debt, and the production was a mess behind the scenes. The final episode felt rushed because it was being held together by duct tape and prayers. There was no one left to make a second season. No one to pick up the pieces. It's an absolute tragedy because Warwick and Nicholas are such deep, complex characters. We were just getting into the meat of the Twilight lore when the lights went out for good. If you're enjoying the trip down memory lane, hit that subscribe button. But seriously, grab tissues for these next ones. Number 6, Bloom Into You. Bloom Into You is arguably the best Yuri anime ever made. It's not just a romance, it's a psychological study of what it means to love someone. The first season was beautiful, but it covered exactly half of the manga. It ended right before the biggest turning point in the story, the play. For years, fans have been begging for a season 2. The manga is finished. The ending is perfect. So why hasn't it happened? It's the advertisement for the manga curse. Studios often see a single season run as a 12-episode commercial to boost book sales. Once the manga finishes, they feel there's no need to animate the rest because the marketing job is done. It's a cynical way to treat art, and Yu and Tuco deserve to see their story through to the end on screen. Number 5, Land of the Lustrous, Houseki no Kuni. Land of the Lustrous changed the game for CG anime. Studio Orange proved that 3D could be breathtakingly beautiful. The story of Phos and the other gems is haunting, philosophical, and visually stunning. But since Season 1 aired in 2017, it's been radio silence. The problem? Studio Orange became victims of their own success. They got tapped for Beastars, then Trigun Stampede, and their schedule is booked for years. Meanwhile, the manga has gone to some of the darkest, most insane places I've ever seen in fiction. If you think Phos is a cute gem girl, you have no idea what's coming. The Studio Orange's too busy tragedy is real. We're all just sitting here waiting for them to return to the moon, but it feels like a dream that's slipping away. We're getting into the top tier of pain now. And remember, the drama behind our number 1 pick is so messy, it actually changed the laws of the industry. Number 4, High School of the Dead. This is the only entry on this list that wasn't canceled because of money or drama. It was canceled because of a genuine human tragedy. High School of the Dead was the ultimate guilty pleasure anime. It was over the top, ridiculous, and incredibly fun. But the creator, Daisuke Satu, passed away in 2017. Out of respect for his legacy, the illustrator, Shuji Satu, decided not to continue the story with anyone else. He felt that no one could capture the soul of the series like Daisuke did. While it's heart-wrenching that we'll never see the group reach safety or find a cure, you have to respect the decision. It's a rare moment of integrity in an industry that usually milks every franchise dry. Number 3, Yona of the Dawn. How has this not been renewed? Seriously? Yona of the Dawn is a shoujo epic that rivals any shonen for world building and character growth. The first season was basically just a prologue. It ended exactly when Yona finally found all 4 dragons and was ready to actually take back her kingdom. It's the ultimate go read the manga cliffhanger. Since then, the manga has reached over 200 chapters of pure heat. Political intrigue, incredible battles, and actual romantic progression. The demand is there. The sales are there. But for some reason, the committee has just sat on this IP for a decade. It's frustrating because Yona is one of the strongest female leads in anime history, and she's being left to gather dust on a shelf. Number 2, Yuri on Ice. This one is a fresh wound. For years, the fandom survived on the promise of the prequel movie, Ice Adolescence. We saw the posters, we saw the teasers, and we waited. Then, in 2024 and 2025, we got the official word, it's canceled, done, dead. The production was plagued by delays and MAPPA eventually decided to pull the plug entirely. It wasn't because of a lack of interest. This show was a cultural phenomenon. It was likely a mix of internal production struggles and the creator's desire for perfection that led to a stalemate. To go from being the biggest anime in the world to having your highly anticipated movie deleted is an absolute tragedy. Victor and Yuri's story deserved a cinematic send-off, but instead, we got a "sorry for the inconvenience" tweet. Number 1, No Game, No Life. And here we are, the king of Where is Season 2? No Game, No Life isn't just a show, it's a meme at this point. It's been over 10 years. So why was it really canceled? It's a mix of a massive plagiarism scandal involving the light novel illustrator and the sheer difficulty of adapting the increasingly complex games. The author, Yu Kamiya, faced serious allegations that he traced other artists' work for his character designs. This caused a massive legal headache for Kadokawa and Madhouse. Even though the movie No Game, No Life, Zero was a massive hit, the main series remains in limbo. This show's hiatus changed how studios vet their creators and how they handle copyright. It's legendary for its visual style, its wit, and the fact that it's the most famous cliffhanger in history. We might never see Blank win the ultimate game, and that is the biggest robbery in anime. I know it's a lot to process. We've all been hurt by these studios. But hey, at least the manga exists, right? Which of these cancellations broke your heart the most? Let me know in the comments. Would you like me to do a deep dive into the manga endings of these shows so you finally get that closure?